I'm kneeling down and begging you. Please, don't come to my office. I'll never do it. I'm not in politics. I don't want to be involved in politics. He has read Njenje has read my CV. It was me who used my money. No company, nobody ever paid for me to go to all these schools. Whether it's Cambridge here, Oxford, Kellogg, and nobody paid for me. It's me who decided that when I said, out of curiosity, let me know what the existing they teach in this place that can change me. So it's me that uses my money. That year I was going for a program in Kellogg School. And in Kellogg, I was to spend 3 months on the advanced management course. That was the last year of the dean of the school, the longest dean of Kellogg Graduate School, Donald Jacob, started in 1957. His last year, he started in 57, he became a professor of economics in 57. His last year was 2001. And he took us on a course called the World Economy. And he went on and on. After 3 months, a day before the last day, being a professor from 57 to 2001. You can imagine the number of folders that has taught all the CEOs, Donald. The day before the last day, instead of teaching us in normal business, it was in the auditorium, everybody was there. And I raised my hand. I said, Prof, you've taken us to world economy, but you never said anything about Africa. He said, Peter, I don't know about Africa. I said, yes, Prof. I paid 14,000. And you've spoken about every other place apart from my continent. He said, I'll tell you tomorrow. The last day. On the last day, he came again, spoke very well. The whole place was. And he looked at me and said, Peter, do you want to know about the world economy? I said, yes. You want to know about Africa? I said, yes. He said, nobody plans in Africa. 2001. See, have I ever seen a car called African Spec? No. 2001. He said there's no car called African Spec. When car manufacturers are dealing, all the big car manufacturers, you see European Spec, Asian Spec, Gulf Spec, American Spec, but there's nothing called African Spec. That means nobody plans with Africa. I went on and asked me a question. Do you have in your country 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years plus? No. Do you think I can answer no? No, you can't answer no in that segment. I said yes. I don't have it. I don't know it, but I can't answer no. I said yes. He said he would like to have it. But he asked me to join it for lunch. And I joined Professor Donald Jacob for lunch. And after lunch, if you know Kellogg very well, it's on the back of Lake Michigan. The school is here, the lake is behind. So you usually walk around the beach of the lake. Some of my second, that's why I'm a Kellogg scholar, because I've got about 4 main courses in Kellogg. You have to do 3-4 courses to become a Kellogg scholar. The special alumni group. So he said to me, let's take a walk in back of the country. As we're taking a walk, he asked me, do you have any of your country's coins? The biggest denomination there is 100 naira. That was the biggest denomination in 2001. There's no 500, there's no 1,000. So I brought 100 naira out. Donald Jacob brought out $100. And he said, which of the two currencies do you prefer? Exchange rate was 100 naira to $1. So what do you think I'll say? $1. And I told him I prefer the dollar. And he asked me why, and I said because of the rate of exchange. And so he said I should keep his dollar. You keep my naira. We took another walk, like a pole, and he stopped again and asked me, Peter, can I bring back the money? And I brought it back. He said to me, tell me, why do you prefer this currency to this one? And I told him the same story again. Because of the rate of exchange. And he said, let's sit down on the bench. And we sat down. And he said to me, the only reason why you prefer another country's currency to your currency is because you don't have faith in your country. Not economy for 50-something years. Economy is driven by faith, and what drives the faith is hope. The government gives you. There's no, you don't have faith because there's no hope. It's not the rate. Chinese people keep their money in Chinese yuan. Singaporean dollar. Malaysians bring it. There was no euro there. Germans keep it in marks, British in pounds, Americans in dollars, Italians in lira. When every country said, because you don't have faith in your country, you want to keep your money in another man's currency. And that's what is driving. If the economy is strong, and we bring your faith. We've been with you here for 3 months. Can I ask you for a favor? Because the cost is more of interactive. If you know how to do most of the senior major courses in business school, the high-end courses, it's more of interactive. Say, can I ask you for a favor? She first asked me, do you have this amount of money? Are you worth $1 million? $2,000? And I said, yes. Are you worth this amount? I said, yes. Are you worth this amount? You got to a stage, you say, Peter, you made enough money that you can afford to buy food and eat well. I live the rest of your life, maybe you don't make your money. You might not be flying private jets and everybody can live the rest of your life. Can I ask you for a favor? And I said, go back to your country and participate in building public wealth. Public wealth enriches everybody. Individual wealth impoverishes everybody. The problem in your country is that people are pursuing individual wealth and everybody's poor. But if you pursue public wealth, everybody will be rich. If you can do it, you will find fulfillment. That was the last. I saw Donald Jacob was the last. I saw him just after being governor before he died. Because I had to go back and tell him to pursue public wealth. Well, when I got back, series of things happened. I went to Onitsha, where I live, 17 level. But what was most instructive that schools, if you know Anambra State, somebody who was senior prefect, I'm sure, even Anambra State, in 2001, 2002, schools were shut down in Anambra State, and nobody went to school for 1 day.
About 15 months.
And I said to myself, with that background of what was happening, we were going to do a major investment where there's about 6 of us. This is the investment everybody knows, even people in Nigeria have already seen that. We were going to put in about $5 million. And I got home and I said to my wife, I'm not going to invest in China. I'm going back to my village to go and be governor. You can imagine the shock, the pain. My wife looked at me and said, have you done politics before? What are you talking? What are you saying? What happened? No, you know, hey. Oh my God, this is the I've had enough. I'm going to see whatever brought us this low, I'm going to fight. Yes, I understand, but I called those people who came to me and said, I'm going to come and contest. Of course, I was the youngest chairman ever to today to my bank in Nigeria. You can imagine my wife went to the then chairman of Diamond Bank, chairman of Continental Bank, this guy all the black Colombo. And those areas, please, you don't know what has become of Peter. Peter has never done politics. I said, well, I didn't have a house in my village. So where are you going to live? What are you going to do? I said, I'm going to build a house. I'm going to live in my mother's house so that on Fridays. After I packed my suitcase, I went to my village. The rest is this. I stayed there for 2 years. Campaigning until that election. The rest you know, I won. They declared somebody else. I went to court. Everybody said it's madness. I stayed in court for around 3 years. I became the first person to ever be declared from court. Again, started because of what I was going to do, not do. I got impeached. You know, I was removed from office twice. You know, again because of so much. So why did I give you this background? It was all not easy. But at every junction, which is what I tell people, I ask myself, what next to do? What next do I need to do? The father of 2 kids, 2 of them are graduates, 2 of them are working, you know, doing well. I won't say 2 of them are doing well. My son is definitely doing exceptionally well. My daughter is I would say the church. Maybe her prayers is what is keeping me. I'm a daughter that prays far more than me. I believe in God far more than me. Because he's the God now with me. So what I'm saying, I have 2 healthy people who are happy with themselves. My life is happy and everything. And then something that will surprise you. I agree something with Benga. This I wanted to be quiet. I agreed that with Benga that I'm going to come here. When I agree with Benga that I'm going to come here, today is my wife's birthday. And she said to me, somebody knew. And she said to me, well, Peter will plant in like this and you forgot, and I said, yes, but you have to be in Cambridge. You keep doing on my behalf. When I come back, I'll say thank you. But these people, we're talking about Nigeria. The other one is just go. You, just everybody, go and eat that dinner. I want to eat the one that we came with. So when I was coming, someone said, Peter, only you can do this. And he saw me say this, but I said, we are talking about the collapsing place, and talking about faith. So he said, Peter, only you can say this. I said, but what am I trying to say? Each time I see every reason to say, I want to get involved in this, people say to me, oh, Peter, be careful. These people will kill you. These people will do this. These people there. These people are there. What else is there to live for? What else? If we cannot, if we go around every single day, we feel a sense of pain. What is happening here? Why should we be like this? You look at the enormity of the resources, human resources, that can change the world. Looking at you, looking at the enormity of the space that can fit the walls, and you ask yourself, why can't we change it? Just like I told people when I came to Anambra State, we were number 26, 27 in Wayaka Neko. I said, no, I won't take it. We either put in number 5 or we shut down the schools. We didn't change anything, but it happened. But like I said, I'm going to make a speech when I conclude. I want us to feel free. Ask any question, criticize me wherever, but let us go with interactions and questions so that when we conclude, we will understand reasonably a useful night. Even those who are not from the university, this is the university community, and I expect serious interactions. We didn't. I'm sure some of you must have watched what happened to me and Columbia in the university. That's what I want to see. So I want us to say, people get up and say, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? And we take it from there. So this is just my introduction to tell you who I am. Do not look at the qualification introduction. This is my introduction. This is my journey of politics. I'm not a politician. What I'm going to do this time is telling you same experience. Don't stand dumb. Be involved. Get involved. You have one thing to offer. You might not be a voter, but you know somebody who can vote. Do not look. Your country is in a mess. If we get it wrong in 2003, forget it. That's where we are. So thank you for this long introduction. But I'm not ready to take questions. I know you said there were written questions, which...
So the structure we had some questions in advance with the theme, and after that we had a written question, which was, we'll follow after that. So my colleague, you can have a single call.
No, let's just do that.
Sorry, we still will have a couple of 2 questions from those watching online.
Online, fantastic.
Yes. No, let's leave online and give it to you.
Stephen will take it from here. Cambridge University, very smart gentleman. I'm sure he will do justice.
I'm ready for you.
Okay, so you're not sitting down, so there's no argument why I should sit down.
No.
It's really nice to have you here. We're really grateful. You can only imagine what your calendar looks like. For you to find some time to squeeze in to come and talk to us is really easy. And when we now heard what today is, it's not just finding some wiggle room. I think people can hear me. Okay. Sorry. So finding some wiggle room with on a day like this that's so personal to you makes this meeting even more personal to us. So we're very grateful. As Bernard said, my name is Stephen. I study terrorism, conflict, violence in this. Department of Land Economy. So we have 3 questions on the theme. The first question is this. We don't want to go down the sad lane of all the numbers, all the technical numbers, because the numbers just makes everybody sad. We know the debt gap that we have in our country right now. We are borrowing profusely, and we are still borrowing as the debt is rising. The question is this: how do you intend to engage this problem? What do you think can be done? What is the economic remediation strategy to this kind of situation? And what is the political angle? Because basic development economic theory states that when you have things like this, the angle most of the time is to go from the angle of a political angle and an economic angle. But if there's a strategy, how do you think this can be engaged?
Boring.
Yeah.
How to engage boring?
How do we make the bleeding stop? How do we close the gap? because we've already bought, the deed is done. We already have, we're in negative debt right now. Our foreign reserves are gone. How do we manage what is happening, and how do we bring it back?
Second one.
Oh, you want me to pile on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The second question leads up from the first one. When we finally have a strategy, if there's a strategy, and we want to implement this strategy, development theory also states that there will be resistance. How do we manage the resistance from sectors, people, forces, agencies that don't want it to stop? How do we deal with that kind of resistance? Because we're having a very complex orchestrated system of development regression, and it's there, and there are people and there are forces that are actually managing this trajectory, the negative trajectory. If we're going to have a strategy to fix it, there will obviously be resistance. How do we handle this resistance? Number three, when we finally handle the resistance and we finally get it working, how do we make sure that this is actually sustainable? How do we sustain it across regimes? How do we make it in such a way that it's not a pendulum? Okay. That when somebody gets there, it's fixed and he leaves, and then we go back and we keep pressing Ctrl Z and Ctrl Y. How do we make it work? Those are the three questions.
Number one, there's nothing wrong with borrowing. Every nation of the world borrows money. Everybody. We are here in the UK. I don't know the exact figures because I shouldn't quote figures. But I can tell you, their debt to GDP will not be less than 70% of their GDP. And so is it everywhere in the West. Like I told you people in America, their debt to GDP in America is over 80%.
81.
So, America is the biggest economy, a 23 trillion, 24 trillion economy. Debt to GDP is 80%. The second biggest economy is China, about 60% debt to GDP. So everybody's knowing. The third biggest country is Japan, 230% to GDP. 230% to GDP. I can go on and on. Even Norway, that have the highest amount of sovereign wealth fund, their debt to GDP is about 50%. Everybody's borrowing. So there's nothing wrong with borrowing. What is wrong is what you use the money you borrowed for. That's the problem. If you borrow for consumption, that's a problem. If you borrow for investment, then it works. And people often cite Singapore. Singapore debt to GDP is about 120, 130%. But if you go and read the constitution of Singapore, it says all borrowed funds is for investment. If you look at Japan, that is owing 230% of the GDP, everybody knew what they used the money for. When they had economic problem and they wanted to keep the economy going, that's when they borrowed the money. And today, Japan still owes the highest amount of US treasuries. What does it mean? She's owing, she's owing, she's owing, she's owing. But if I go to her and say, I want my money, she has a plan. Because she has invested the money and she has some treasury which she will pay. And I say, I want my money. He started telling me, oh, he lost the father. Oh, my uncle jumped into well. That's not the story they want to hear. When they give the money out, snake came in the house. That's not the story. The story is that is the challenge we face. Countries after countries borrow money to solve their problem. And I'll give you simplest example I use every day, so that I don't bore you with too much example. And I don't like people comparing Nigeria and First World. Because some people go, oh, in Britain, I lived there for 10 years. You never see me comparing with Nigeria. Oh, in America, you never see me comparing with America. I want to always compare third world to third world. So since we are third division, let's know how we become in third division. Let's not go to Premier League. Compare Premier League. Let's not compare, say, Chelsea with Cambridge. Let's compare Cambridge United. No. I can't say that. No. You compare Cambridge United with
Maybe Reading FC.
So, what am I trying to say? If you go and compare Nigeria with, say, Bangladesh, Nigeria is 200. Probably just 200. Bangladesh is 165 million. So similarity of huge population. I was in Bangladesh in 2010. In 2010, Nigerian GDP was $375 billion. And per capita was 2,250. Our debt was 10% to our GDP. About that, what they talked about 30 billion or something billion. What was our debt? 2010. So we were better. Bangladesh GDP as at that time was about 115 billion. Their per capita precisely is $747. Their debt was 45 billion. So they were owing that something percent of their debt to GDP. We and Bangladesh were in the same ratio in HDI in 2000, similarity in 2010. Today, Bangladesh, Nigerian GDP is about 400 billion. Our per capita is 1,980 2000. So it lost about 12% of your per capita, which is the real measure of wealth. And your debt has increased from about 35 billion to over $100 billion without impacting on anything. Bangladesh GDP has increased to 300 and something billion, about 330, 340 billion. So they tripled their GDP. Bangladesh per capita is now 2,000, about 2,050, 2,100. So they tripled their per capita. And their debt has increased to about 110. So their debt is now about 32% of their GDP. It has actually lowered because their GDP have grown. Yeah. That is what investment of the debt does to you. So Bangladesh has become a country that moved. As at that 2010, our diaspora remittances was almost to West Bangladesh. Today, they've actually about surpassed us. Yeah. What just using diaspora remittance, yeah. What did they do? They educated them. The more money you put in education, human capital, the better will come. Because they have people that to export. So there's nothing wrong with borrowing. I just want to establish that. How do we stop it? Because where we are now, we're in the mess. It don't happen, so we must borrow. But this is time to say, what is that level? Saving. You must not borrow. And if you're hungry, let's buy. When everybody will borrow now, we must invest it. That's the first thing. We're no longer going to borrow for consumption. Anything you like, do. How you eat, I don't want to know. What happens, I don't want to know, because this investment borrowing must go into investment. Productive. You now have to reverse the country from consumption to production. Because it's not a producing country. It's critical. That is where we start. That is the first thing you need to do. When you have this type of mess, you stop. In this 2007, 17, I argued about this, when we had a recession. Somebody said we will spend our way out of recession. I said, you're wrong. Western world can say that. Not a third world country. What you do when you're in recession is what you do when you're in difficulty. The first thing you do is you cut your expenses. You cannot continue to live the same style. You've got to go home and tell your children and wife, no longer are we going to eat out. Sorry. Sorry. But I'm going to tell madam, see how things are bad. Things have to move forward. So you now have to go home and tell madam, you must cook. Things have changed. No more eating in the restaurant. We can no longer do this. It happened to me as a governor. When I became governor, the office of the governor was spending about 30-something% of our budget. And I said to them, no, it has to stop. Because we were spending, we're not giving the education, which was my priority, the money required. I said, we have to change it. The office of the governor, by the time we did our planning, supported it with our budget and everything, the office of the governor could only secure less than 5% of the votes from 30-something. And everybody was shouting and saying, Governor, you can't cope. Governor, you cannot do this. Governor, I said, no, I can cope. Just watch what I'm going to do. We're going to shut everything down. And we started shutting everything down. Everything. The whole place was, that was even the reason why I was a beach, which I answered. Everybody was like, you can't, this cannot happen. This cannot, no, it's not possible. Why must this happen? Why must that happen? But today, I can tell you, I say this everywhere I've spoken. My head of service was one of the best human being you can have. A wonderful lady, wonderful woman, and a senior sister, somebody who took me like her own. She would always run into my office and say, my young brother, please, people are not happy. Nobody's happy with you. Please, just, oh, this, I didn't know what to do. You won't understand. You won't understand. And I say, sister, don't worry. Don't worry. He said, no, but I don't like the fact that I go out of here. Everybody's calling me bad name. Everybody has said, don't worry. And I'll pop my phone so I can show you something which you read out. My head of service will eventually publish a book. You know, she will eventually publish a book. She wrote something, I said to her, you won't publish it in the newspaper. Though that when I went to New York, her sister told me that he shared a publication with her. But he said that I said she shouldn't put it in the newspaper. I said yes, because I didn't like Whereas I will show you. So, what am I trying to say? I just show you, just read the caption, and even if you don't read the whole thing, people can see just the heading of it, what the story is all about. So today, I go around, my brother, the same person who said to me yesterday, oh no, I can't live with this. This is it here. So he will eventually publish it. Look at it, let me show you her name. Says, Honorable Barrister Melifon, former head of service to the government of Anambra State, under Anambra State, Peter Obi.
24 June 2022.
No, this 24 June is when he wrote it, but read the capital.
Mr. Peter Obi, stinginess as a development strategy.
She used to shout and everything. And then, when I started settling the bills, paying pension to her own gratuity, everything, everybody was like, where did he get the money from? I said, it was the money he saved from all those things that were quarreling with. My DC never went to Abuja with me. And people say, hey, it's like I tell you, if I want to come to Cambridge today, I can tell you, there may be 30, 40 people who wants to go with me. Yes, what are they going to do in Cambridge? It's only me who want to see. So I'm invited to meet in Abuja. 30 people want to go with me. Nobody invited me. Nobody invited me. They have no reason to be in Abuja. They follow me, use public money, pay for them to do the construct. Moves out to traveling public. And what have been using in Abuja?
Exactly.
Thank you. Transport.
So I come back, I have 10 million for visiting Abuja. Because I went with people who was not invited for the meeting. So we had a lot in Abuja. The governor of Anambra State in Abuja. Why people have a problem with Abuja? My predecessor was for 1 billion naira, and it was costing us to keep it every month. Why are we going to have lodge in Abuja? I don't live there. If I go to Abuja, they give me 50,000 naira to cook. The proof and transport is 5,000. Well, he said he cooks in case he can come back with people. Who does that? It's only hotel that cooks in case people come back. So we shut it down. That's the first thing you do when you have a problem. You shut down your expenses.
Yeah.
They have big office called office. Somebody, nobody voted. And he asks people, advice on this, what did I advise?
How to look good.
And how to come follow. So he moves around, creating confusion all over the place.
Slapping people.
Because she has no job. So what she does in the morning is they run around all over the place. And that is that now. In America, actually, have you ever seen office? If anyone tells you, Stephen, I'm so close to my wife that you will not believe it. We're very close. This is the last person who came with Wednesday, Daniel who came with me. I came with my actually it's my wife that opened the door. My wife was the last person that said bye to now. If I go. So and then you said she's going to have a blessing. She never campaigned. Nobody voted for her. No, nobody even knew her brother campaign. Just like my people happens here. She's just there. She will even tell you, I can't do this your business. You know. Even if I go come back now, I want to say, Peter, I know you've come back. Don't this is my food I'm going to enjoy. Don't bring GDP inside the food. I'm about to go to it. I tell you, I can do all these things though, but you know women. She doesn't do, I do. She wants to enjoy the little things. She says, no, Peter. Carry your GDP. Me, I want to. But what am I trying to say? These are where you start. You share your weight. You do things properly. That's what you do. You don't go and start living the same lifestyle on a borrowed money. That's it. British side Prime Minister goes to Nigeria. He comes in a British way. The German Chancellor comes in the first. Then who is owing? Stephen wants to come to London. No, he comes in a full 37. I have no reason
to be there.
So that's where you start. Number two, the people who resist it. Yes, they will resist it. That is the main purpose. That's why they say that I have no structure. Haven't you heard it before? It is the structure
To share money.
that kept us here. Yes. It is structure corruption, structure criminality, structure that is what I want to dismantle. It must go because that's the structure that made us not to generate more than 4,000 megawatts in 20 years. So that structure must go.
Yes, sure.
So that's what I find this. Go to another state, new elite was happy with me for 8 years. And that's if I can tell you, I know that one very well. Because I come to Abuja. Every big man I see, and there's something wrong. And I said, sir, what is it? Nobody's happy with you. Who will start calling on you? I never promised anybody happiness.
You're
And
not
I can tell you,
you're not a comedian.
I can tell everybody, you know, no, no individual will be happy. Collectively, the country will be happy. But I'm not there to please anybody. So I never promise anybody happiness. Besides, my job is not to make people happy. People have different jobs. Comedians who are musicians. If David or Flavor comes here, will he be talking to you like this? No. He's not coming to talk about GDP. He's coming for entertainment. So you're coming there knowing it's a happy time. Yeah, when I was in Cambridge, we have happy hour.
Yeah.
So when happy hour comes, it's no longer lecture. There might be people who job is so independent. So we have to divide a role. So I've had lots of things. Oh, you're the only governor without your first lady. And I said, no, listen, you have enough confusion in the state. To add that one will be too much. And it's not affecting us. And I have the greatest number of women working in any other state. My chief of staff is a woman, secretary, my permanent secretary in my office is a woman, head of service woman, commissioner of finance woman, education, local government. I can go on and on. All women know. I'm very serious among all of them. They're very, very serious. My chief of staff is one of the best person who can walk on the surface of the earth. And she can't take anything. She doesn't care. Governor, you're wrong. You can't do it. Not as the chief. I will even argue with them. I say, you can't understand I'm the governor. Because I told them from day one, if you people agree with me in 3 meetings, I'll sack everybody. I know that I'm working alone. I want to hear bad news always, not good news. Because I'm the leader. So your job is to always correct me. Your job is to always say to me, you're wrong. Right? they took it personal. And they will remain to work for the state. And that's why we arrived at what we achieved. So we will drag them, yelling and crying. They will not be happy. But we're going to cry. Because we need to change the place. How do we make it sustainable? It's the people. When the people think about building institutions, that's why I went to all these schools, like your school, to learn where there's any other thing. Institutions are built by people. Who removes Boris Johnson? There's no law that said you went to party, you go. There's no law. It's not written anywhere. And I can tell you, if it was in Nigeria, we would have had more parties. Those who didn't attend the last one, the next one. You would have been the story. It's the people that said no. Jeffrey Archer was a famous person, Tory chairman. You know what it means to be a Tory chairman? Huge post, like chairman of APC. What is the question? Which is dead. The only thing I did that was wrong was that he said, I did not. And the prostitute came out and said, he lied. What happened? Told the party said, you can no longer be our shaman. The queen, tonight, is no longer as a society. So sustenance of anything is the people. Peter have congregated you today to preach to you, to talk to you, and we spend hours talking. Peter becomes president tomorrow. He comes back to Cambridge. Then Ghana calls me and says, there's this street. If I show you where people buy new houses here, it's wonderful. Johnson has bought his own, Mike has bought his own. That's where this person lives. That's where nobody talks anything. So I go to buy my own. Then I call him. What's the name? Pastor Sally. I want you to come and bless this house. Evangelist, I want you to come and bless this house on a Sunday. And invite the whole of the community. Everybody come. Everybody. You know, completely. I mean, Pastor is saying, whoever that God has blessed him, you know, I know you're going to be rich. Wherever you go this morning, then go to the door. And in fact, you find another. Everybody's happy. When you go to the call police. Because we know where people money is from. He didn't have house. And then I tell you, oh, I was rich before I became president. I just wanted to buy a house in Reading, in Birmingham, in this. And everybody.
But he didn't buy it.
Show me. These are things that is a bit. So institutions are built by people. Institutions are sustained by people. And that's what I tell people. I'm not campaigning to be president of Nigeria. I want us to take back Nigeria for Nigerians and everybody to come behind what we're doing to resist that change. And how do you resist it? You hire the people who are choosing to be the managing director of this country called Nigeria. All of you should be courageous enough that when Peter started running this company in the right direction, to say, okay, that's not what We had a pilot yesterday. On Tuesday, on Wednesday, I was in Geneva. There was a storm over Europe. The pilot said we were delayed for 2 hours. And we eventually took off. The pilot said it's going to be back. So everybody knew. The pilot said because of this, the flight is going to be delayed. So a flight that is supposed to take us an hour 30 minutes took over 2 hours 30 minutes. And it was. But I asked somebody who was in the plane with me, I said, why do you think we're not feeling we are gone here? With all this thing? Why do you think we're not?
Nigerian.
We were sure that the man said there's a pilot. It was, the man there is qualified. What happens in Nigeria is that we hire somebody who is incompetent, who is not this, and suddenly he tells us, oh, what I saw when I came in. Oh, listen to him, what did you see? So if you see something wrong, you should ask him, come on. Let somebody who will see what we want you to see. Enter. The job of the leader is not to complain. It's to provide solutions. Not to complain. Telling us that what the last people did. If the last people were doing well, we won't hire you. We hired you because this company was collapsing. That's why we lost it. Don't start telling us what Benga did. What Benga did. If Benga was doing good, we won't hire you. That's the first question.
It's not a time, but they have some questions already.
Okay.
We'll be faster now, so we can learn. And then because Steve was my man for this terrorism business. I didn't tell him, so don't go too far. We're going to be in the trenches, so. So go on. The next question.
So,
I still on.
No, the written question.
Go on, okay, go on. Very fast now.
Okay, so the first auxiliary question is this. The Nigerian education system is not where we all want it to be.
Yes.
And
That one is a done deal.
down from the tertiary sector down to across the entire sector of the education. How do we handle this?
Okay.
Simple.
Next one.
The written question.
Oh, okay. Someone wants to know what you will do if you come in power in the first 100 days.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get to them.
Somebody else wants to know what your strategy is for infrastructural development.
For
Infrastructural development. Okay, so this is under education as well. Somebody wants to know how
okay,
it's.
let me, I'll just take care of them. One is the program that I told you is not a program of 100 days. 100 days doesn't exist. Let nobody tell you that Peter B is going to tell you what he's going to do in 100 days. 100 days, you're still dealing with it. 100 days, you're still dealing with the principalities that. But let me assure you that from day one, I hit the ground running because I'm getting prepared for them. If I want to take this, but I don't want to go back to that type of profession. when people say, what is your priority? Not priority for social, no. What is your priority if you come into office? Number one is that you have to deal with the issue of security.
Yes.
People's security is affecting everything you want to do. Because honest is the first fundamental job of government, to secure life and property. Because people have to sleep and wake up to be able to invest, to live in that society, to even attract investors. It's the only thing that drives away people today. One of the worst things that is affecting you as a nation is inflation and security at the heart of it, because farmers can no longer go to farm and food have increased. And food inflation is one of the worst type of inflations you can face. Now people use 100%, more than 100% of their income to feed in Nigeria, not even to do anything. So you need to deal with that very quickly, decisively. People can ask me why, how, and everything will be rest assured. It will be precise, decisive, that's no going back. You deal with that. Number two is to deal with the issue of lawlessness. You hear every day people telling police brutality, this, that. Police behave the same way the politicians behave. It is a reflection. You cannot, people who work for you cannot behave opposite of what you do. Rascality and bad behavior have become a measure of success. Power.
Quote unquote.
So if I come here and people are being pushed, slapped, everything, then big man have come. You know, I just told you the story when I came. I said, when I came, of course, it was me. I'm meeting him for the first time today, and I'm talking to him. I called him to apologize that I was going late when I was leaving London. I said, Mr. Wenger, please, I'm going to come late. I'm going to be there for 6:30. You said 6 o'clock. I said, Mr. Wenger, what is going to 6 o'clock? He said, no, you wrote 6 for 6:30. I want to come by 6. But it is better I wait for them and they wait for me. And when I came, I met him, and I told him that the things we have done wrongly, we must start correcting them. If we say 6, if we want, we can change it to 8. But if we say 6, and if you're not going to come by 6, please let us know why you will not come by 6. And I told him, I will let hold up at M25. It doesn't cost you anything. And when I came, I told him, this is what happened. He said, no problem. I said, there's a problem. Because we have a time. So that's what happened to me when I was governor. Somebody invites me to a place, say, 12 noon prompt. They need to prompt. I arrived by 12 and said, hey, governor, we're expecting you by 4. What do you think you're doing? He said, oh, that's what we run for visitors so they can come before you come. I said, you would have told me 4 p.m.
Prompt.
You tell the very yes whatever you want to tell me. But don't tell me, listen, oh, you come to church, you come to occasion late. Let government don't go. They say, no, government can't stay there. They got your chair in front. I know my chair was in front, and I know it. And I called the priest to say, I'm going to come late. Why would you keep the chair empty for somebody who comes late? He's not showing a good example. And you call him his excellence. Excellence means an excellent person. They will be late. He should not come late. These are simple things that makes a society. The intangible asset that drives a society. Behavior. So, in my 8 years of being governor, nobody ever pushed anybody. Who was the senior prefect? Thank you. Did you come to government at all? Did you come to my office at all? Thank you. And it's not only him. So there's no need, I don't need to start pushing, oh, was it? They know what they were doing that time. I recall one, my protocol officers. I had a school visit to go. I visited every secondary school in the state. On a day I went to, and he said, a big man was wearing the third wife. And he wrote it there, he would like school visit to represent. This big man's marriage, governor president. I said, let me ask you. This man was president. He has actually had to, and came to talk about. And that's what you wrote that is more important to me than education that I swore to improve. To go and support this man who, as far as I'm concerned, should not. Let me just leave it at that. So, what are you encouraging? Because that's where, hey, so hey, everybody will be there. I said, is that when I'm elected to go where everybody is? He said, but the guy's school now, commissioner is there. Listen, when I go to school, like him, he had a written letter from me, he has seen me, I have spoken to him, and everything. That motivation is far more important than go to where people are doing the same thing and saying consumption. So, that is where we are. We're going to drive the process. What was your last question?
Education.
I've said about education. Let me tell you about education. Very simple. The more you invest in education, the better the development will come. One of the things Nigeria is lacking today is human capital. And again, that's what people say, what did the people achieve in Anambra State? I said, I was number one in education, I was number one in health, I was number one in NDG. All the three things that makes development, I was number one. This is very structured. Let me tell you, when I went to Bangladesh in early this decade, when I went to China in the 90s, follow China aggressively. Vietnam, these countries have no infrastructure. What did they do first? They invested in human infrastructure. You can't do physical infrastructure without building human infrastructure. Because this one will drive this one. So you don't go outside. So you come to Abuja, they build 12 stories. No power, no lift. Everything is broken down. Because you've not done the right thing. If you have done the right thing by having the human infrastructure that will generate power, that will fix the lift, that will fix this thing. So whenever I go to Abuja, anytime they put me in a hotel, 50 stories, I say, no, you have room. I say, no. Because half of the time is broken down. So it's easier for me to come back. So that's where education is the most critical thing. What drives this place?
Education.
The intangible assets, which is security. Law. Rule of law. You're sure that if you pay somebody for land, he doesn't get the land, you go sue somebody. You call police. If the man, the husband has slapped her, she will call police. I know that police will come. If I do it in Nigeria, because I'm the big man, when he comes, so, okay, what is it that man is? I said, this woman, if I tell you, if I tell, okay, last time I saw that woman, the way you look. Yeah, police that you invited, he's telling you, that woman, how can you, he said, okay, you are too gentle for this. And you're wondering, what about, you haven't even asked what happened. Right? That's the person you pay for land, they say, because you have money, police is arresting you for even buying land. You become the victim. You know, you're carrying a laptop. Why are you carrying a laptop? Why are you doing? So, it's a crisis situation. Let's go. Almost.
Neglected the roads, which is one of the issues we have in Nigeria. It's like a basic necessity. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't go there.
Go on.
Sorry, okay,
Go on.
And when we talk about roads, building roads will definitely help logistics. And investors will know that even if they have to run from kidnappers, which I know you tried to deal with, the roads are good enough for them. So if you can address that.
No, she didn't know. No, 1 minute. Let me get it.
I'm sure he didn't build our own side, Oka South.
Hey, whoa.
Let me ask any question. I want an award as the state with the best road in the world. Nobody has better road than me. Let me tell you what I didn't do. So you understand. We did a study. We decided to work with what we call the NDG. When I became governor, we didn't have Ministry of Planning. No Ministry of Planning. And I asked them, and I called people in charge of education. Where is the education plan? What is our vision as a state? Where is the education plan? No. Where is our health plan? No. Where is the plan? So how do we work here? There was no one. So there and there, within 1 week I became governor, I decided to put in Ministry of Planning. That's how we had Ministry of Planning. And took Obiano's deputy governor, Kemo Keke, who was then the head of Department of Economics. I took her, he was the first commissioner of planning ever in Brazil State. So come. And I decided, what would be our vision as a state? Because we didn't have any, we saw something that was very easy. Nigeria was a signatory to Millennium Development Goals, which if we had followed, would have been where China is. So we said, we don't need to go and start scratching our brain, just like what I said today. If you want to change Nigeria today, you don't need to kill yourself. Just do the simple things. You're not going to do anything new. You're not reinventing anything. You just do what other people are doing. So we borrowed that Millennium Development Goals and said, these 8 goals are what we will pursue. This is our vision. So what is our strategy for delivery of this vision? That's what we developed and called Anambra State Integrated Development Strategy. And it's everybody who was in Anambra State knows it. It's something everybody knows. That is became simple thing. It's a process that allows us to plan properly with the people. We moved our planning from being supply driven to demand driven because they're about the people. So plan with them, budget to deliver the plan, execute the plan, and supervise it. If you read MDG goals, the first goal is to fight extreme poverty. So Anambra State, today you can go and check the record of statistics, is the first state to do statistical report of poverty in Nigeria. We want to know areas of the state that is poor and why they are poor. Number 2 is education. Number 3 is health. When we did the studies of poverty, we found out that the following state local governments are poor. A place called Ayamelum, a place called Anambra West, Obaru, Oka North, not Oka South.
Yeah.
Oka North. Because all both family and co. When we studied all these, they have a common thing that is there. They were all farmers, but they were poor. But why are they poor? They have no access. There was no road to them. Like Anambra West, there was no bridge, there was no access. By building road to them, that increased the value of the agricultural product. So what I did was, which is what China never, leave the state. We're not looking for anything. I live as the governor. My house is 2-bedroom place. My office is functional. And we needed a functional place. So if you go, we did a 43 kilometers of road in Ireland. Anambra West, where no single kilometer of road has passed. You go there, you see road. Started building road there. Started building our canal from to above family, where road has never gone before. Started building to this and everything, and to everyone. Where are you from? Wakan South? You. No, who else? You are next to my town now, so you can see. No. Just let you know. Just let you know. You are next to my town. No. You are next to my town, and I can tell you, there were already roads that passed through there. Even my successor, my predecessor, even built a road that passed through Boku.
No, in Gige built, you know the erection.
Understand what I'm saying? So I can tell you, no, it's important that I explain it. Yeah. So for me, that is how it's good you ask that question. So people can understand. A strategy is to look at it. It's like what I said now. The strategy is to there was what we're doing, and to shock you, we started implementing MDG in the year 2008. 2008. Amina Mohammed, who is now the Deputy Secretary General, was in charge of MDG. MDG was signed by the Nigerian government in 2000. In year 2000. He ended in year 2015. I started implementing it because I became governor in 2006. Started implementing it in 2008. By the time we finished in 2015, Anambra State was #1. I had to even give a lecture what I did in the United Nations. And this is what I'm saying about development in our place. A development, the reason why we've not fared well is that you see the trust have done taken over. He will say what she will do and what he wants to drive the vehicle to. And everybody will follow. So when in 2-3 years they can say, you say this, you say this. In our own place, like I told you, when I came, there was no plan. So if you don't know where you're going, every road will leave you there. You know? So people are clapping. So if I'm going out, I'm going to London. If I say that, I'm not going, if I'm all right. If you turn left, if you start to drive straight, anywhere is good because they don't know where you're going. So a government must know, like he asked me, what are your priorities? So people can say, this man said, like this people who are here, they say security. Said they will change my everything. What's up? So that's that. Thank you.
Will you use the same strategy you use for security in Anambra State for the country when you become the president?
It's a very easy thing. Because you work.
Okay, later.
In Anambra State,
Yeah.
in Anambra State, let me tell you, in Anambra State, we have the best security system that works. They will tell you what it is. When it talks about sustenance, when I left us, they said somebody else is doing the security. It's actually what we did. Because when we came back, you know, when you start implementing something, it comes years after.
Yes.
Just like education.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In Anambra State, I started community policing. Paying every community security directly from government. Bought every community vehicle. My sister never bought time for them. But those things are carried on, just like the schools. My first tenure, first 4 years, if you go to the school in Igbo, they have 2 vehicles. I bought the first 4 years, I bought them 1 vehicle. Second 4 years, I bought them another one. But while the nurses who came didn't buy tire 8 years, those vehicles were still there. So it's easy to say, I'm doing this. But gradually, people understood who did it. So now I can go back and live in China. I don't even know, the only place that had a house in the entire Nigeria is no other place. So, thank you.
Yeah, I think everybody should write their questions down. So I'll move on. I'm not just writing down, I just want to write. But some questions are still there. I'll summarize into one single question.
Okay, sir. We don't know what is happening in Nigeria.
We just do 2 from outside.
Okay,
No, wait, we just do from outside and we go back to huh?
Speak to him then. You guys,
If you wrote it, you can say it now, isn't it your brain?
Because your policies in Anambra State, to me, make me think that you're socialist. Because you provide that safety net for, make sure that, you pay unemployment benefits, disability benefits, you use state money to provide things like education and health, which is the right thing to do. But there are people that are out there thinking because you have said that you like and that you support a free market economy. So that means that you're more capitalist. And so what I'm worried about is your policies. I've read the Labour Manifesto, but when you're saying that it's a free market economy, are you going to be providing any aid? Because in the free market economy that we see in America, it is the private sector that provides health, which is why a lot of people die during COVID. It is you have to pay school fees for tertiary education. You have to pay for health insurance. Nigeria is a poor country and we can't afford a capitalist policy. So I just want to hear from you. Are you socialist? And this move that you went to beat them healthy.
Thank you very much for that question. Let me tell you, you classified in Nigeria as the poor country, which means as a poor person, you can't afford everything. No, it can't be poor and it can be very kind. Because we don't have what it takes to do that. In today's world, even in the UK, nobody can differentiate between Tory and Labour. Because they've all blended, I'm telling you, there's no two extreme again. Because of the way things have changed in the world. And it's something that like you can think of something of it. It's no longer a time when Labour was, we're going to do this, everything is Labour Union, everything is been dismantled. Because we found out, even in Russia, and it's not working. So there's a blend. A blend. The private sector drives a lot of gravity. Because unless you allow it to put around entrepreneurship, which is critical. If we are going to get everything for free, we're going to do the same thing. Why am I going to catch my friend? Why don't we sleep like everybody who is sleeping and have celebrate like everybody? So it's a blend of the process. But you also want to look at a society that cares for the poor. Because we need to carry everybody along. So, for me, those of us who have opportunity, my wife owned, like I said, the facility in Ikoyi, and I always tell her, if those in Ikoyi can, if those in Ajegule cannot eat, those in Ikoyi cannot sleep. So you need to bring food on the table for those in Ajegule. Why those in Ikoyi can have their? These are things you must learn. So you don't say, okay, what am I worried about the country? We want to create a better country. I'm not going to be what I am if I come here as a refugee. Would they make me chairman of bank? No, I have no job here. So I want to remain there and make it work. So it's a win-win. So I'm not going to say to you, oh, everything will be free. Once you make everything free. Today, we are making even everything free. People are in the UK. Some of you, those of you who are not students there, left Nigeria because, why?
Education.
Huh?
No, you want to
Development, self-development,
education.
Thank you. But let me tell you.
No. There's most. No prompt. Electricity is
No, let me say.
all that
Yes. Okay. Let me tell you, your situation is worse. Why is it worse? You are here in the Western world working hard. So what are you doing? All the things you have earned, you're using to provide that social safety net. Then you are working for them. You are the one feeding them. You are their nurse. You are their doctor. When they get sick, they call you. You are their funeral director.
when the carers as well.
Everything. So what you need to do is to help them to change that thing. So that what would they need to, what would they do? If you change it and get it right, you know what they will become? No, they become the worker because you become the investors. That money anyhow. What you invest, they become productive, you make more money, they live more.
True. Yeah.
These are the main question that you don't have to answer. You go back to Stephen.
Sir, one question, sir.
No, the professor was here to fair everybody.
Sir, one question, very important.
What are we going to do about electricity in Nigeria? What are we going to do about pipe-borne water in Nigeria? We need those things.
Okay, sir, following what is happening in Nigeria today, my question one goes to this.
Only one.
Sir, one for the youth, one for the aged people.
Yes.
I want to know the ratio, if you are given opportunity to serve, give us the percentage, you are to employ in terms of your cabinets.
No. Let me answer this question. Let me answer this question. Let me tell you. 1 minute.
And the age and the youth.
My politics is not about. Let me tell you what it is. The politics I'm doing is not politics of sharing.
Yes.
I'm not going to use any ratio to do appointments. Appointment will be based on competence, capacity, to deliver. If you merit it, I'm not going to be. That is what we are suffering today. So that's what you're bringing. It's not going to happen again. We're going to have, yes, fighting today for the young people. My government will be to take back government and give it to the young people. It will be young people driven, but it will be based on competence, not based on any benefit. The benefit will not come to me. I've been governor for 8 years. And it's on record, and I want to, at least you people are taking what I'm saying here. I'm the first governor to leave money when I was in office. And I said I'm going to leave money. From day one, if you go and read Ngozi Iweala's book, Fighting Corruption is Dangerous, go and read page 61. He said every governor, when he wanted to save money, every governor said no. He wrote it there. Governor Peter, who insisted on saving, was not supported by his colleagues. He's dead. And I went and saved. And since I left office, Anambra State has not bought me a bottle of water. Every other one that left is pension. So I'm not in politics of sharing anything. My politics is.
Sir, how do you intend to protect our food?
No. Because that was let me tell you, so we're not going to share anything. You asked about, you asked about power and electricity.
Pipe on water and electricity.
Let me ask you a question, Prof. Do you think there's anything difficult in providing power?
Absolutely not. There's nothing difficult. However, it seems as if even during the colonial times, that the provision of basic water and electricity was
The only thing that's lacking, the only thing that is lacking is let me explain it to you. Prof, today, Nigeria cannot generate and distribute more than 4,000 megawatts of electricity for years. That is very sad.
Very sad.
The first time Nigeria as a government borrowed money was in 1963. President Balawa in 1963 went to World Bank to borrow money. Do you know what he used the money to do? He borrowed $82 million to build 760 megawatts of electricity for Nigerian. And he wrote in that letter to World Bank that he's going to build this facility to support economic growth. Go and read the reply of the World Bank there. Nigerian is still there. If you translate that money to today's money, it's worth about $1 billion. And we're owing about 100 to 120 billion dollars. So if we had done just taking 20 billion and build 20 of that, we would have had 20,000 megawatts. No, I'm just saying. So what am I saying? There's nothing in it. The fastest deployment of power ever done in the recent years was done Egypt, Vietnam, and India.
So do your own, not do our own.
These three places was
You know,
where
we do your own, do our own.
these three countries have doubled their power in the past 5 years. So none of them is Western world.
People that dropped in what's
The
happened.
third world, I was in Egypt. And somebody did. Because Egypt saw what power could do. And they first went through. We are the biggest country in Africa. We are 200 million. We generate 4,000. The second biggest country in Africa, in terms of the economy, in South Africa, 60 million. They generate about 50,000. And this is about a month ago, the president of South Africa declared emergency in power. Declared, you want yeah, okay. Declared power, declared emergency in power. And authorized that any individual or company can generate 100 megawatts without license. Somebody who is generating 50,000.
For 60 million people.
60 million people, you can't imagine. Somebody who is generating 4,000, 200 million. That's what you can't imagine. That's enough. When we are declared 10 times the same emergency, that is the crisis we face. Crisis. No, it's same. Let me tell you, it starts with one. Between power and water. Power is more important.
You did
So
well.
what did I tell my dear friend there? What did I tell her when I came? I was just using. Do you know what I told her when I started? When she asked the question, we're not asking you to provide everything. We're not looking for government who provide everything. We don't want anybody to act as if it's God. The problem in Nigeria is that we're here. And my friend, Stephen comes. I said, hey, there's no one who can be here. What is happening? These people have killed us. So I've hired Stephen. Stephen now is our president. He told us he studies terrorism. And we are about one of the 10, within the 10 countries that have terrorist problems. No, let me just make it top 10. I'm always about that. So that's why we hired Stephen. Stephen comes over here. We now move to this place. The terrorism have actually taken over completely. I still in this thing telling us that what he saw when he came here. We're not asking Stephen to stop everything, but please move us from here to here. We're not asking you to get to this because this is where you promised us you're going. But instead of being here and you're telling us how difficult it is, we're here. And you're telling us what you saw here. Don't worry. And you still want to stay. When you have not offered us, the promise you made. No government ever have achieved everything. What we want to see is 100% effort, not 100% result. Stephen is trying to do something. Nobody has solved every problem. But let us know that when Peter became power was 4,000 and increased it to 10, but they promised 20. So it's okay. The man's right. But don't come and say every day, tell us the greed is the fall down. The sentence, no. That's it. We don't want to do that. That is the problem. So you can say, I don't want to tackle between me and you. I just want to tell you. My priority will be power against water. So we know that you provided power. So God, let somebody else come and provide it. No. Let's just do one. Some can say we think good for you this one. But when you say, when they ask you say security,
We can solve water.
corruption, economy.
None of them is achieved.
No, everything became mess.
Kaput.
And then you're not telling us that the man who was there before we hired him caused the problem. Go back to your question. So we can
Quick. Steve, please, let's guys run it.
Thank you so much for the fantastic ideas. So how do we make the government accountable and transparent? How do you, if you win and become the president of Nigeria, you make all these fantastic changes, how do we ensure that they will be sustained and carried on?
No,
how do we make so if you say, I give somebody money to go and build a road, how do we make sure that they build that road?
So, thank you very much. I'm listening to you and really, your participation in politics and the clarity of your purpose really got me interested in getting involved. I've heard you talk a lot about what your mission is. That is to move Nigeria from a consumption economy to a productive one. So my question is, what's your view on climate change? And what kind of energy system do you think you will use to deliver these aspirations?
Let me be honest with you. Let me answer what I answer. I'm going to be very simple. When I was asked this question, this is a question that came up virtually everywhere I went in America. And I'm going to be frank with you. While I believe in whatever they say about climate change, in quote, I won't bother with it.
Thank you.
I'm being honest with you. What I'm bothered now is how Nigerians will put food on their table.
Nice one, nice one.
I'm not saying climate change is not important, but I want people to understand though, we're going to be involved with it, we're going to pursue it, but we're going to put food in our table first. So we start telling people, I used to tell people, there was an elderly man who happened to be a president of a country, not Nigeria. I went to see at 3 a.m. I came into that country, I was sad. And he said to me, oh no, I'm so busy, you can see 5, 3 a.m. Because it was free. I was running around. So what happened to him by 3 a.m., they brought for him, if you see like in our place, something like a pounded yam and soup by that 3 a.m. So I said to him, hey, sir, is it not too late to eat this food? I said, no, too late. Because he's going to eat that one. He had just finished work and he was going to eat. So when he said, he turned to me and said, young man, Peter, you are right. That is if you have eaten before. And he told me, he said, and his doctors who used to tell him about eat it, he will be eating and they've all died. I said, there's almost 80 years that he hasn't died. Because he has eaten this thing. It's like if he doesn't eat it for 2 days, that's the whole problem. Because so what am I trying to say? You need the things, you need basic things to move to start bothering about AB. Not that we won't bother because it's important. But it's like when people are talking about, when I went to Anambra State, people were talking about health issues. And I said, let's deal with the primary health care. Let's have nurses, midwives that can help women. We have even infant mortality. We don't have nurses in villages that can work. You're talking about specialist doctors, specialist hospitals. Let's have rural medical centers where nurses, where a woman who is sick can be actually deliver little things. What happens in Nigeria is that the man comes, hey, he says, and the governor, I want to build flyover. We don't have need for flyover. Let's see the basic road, the town, so people can pass in it. The flyovers are for where there's already road and there's congestion. So don't go and start building flyovers. Oh, we're going to build a marble house for the office of the governor. For what now? Basic things first. So that's what it is.
Consider the prominent position for renewal.
He talked about, when he talked about No, we will.
Please,
We will.
please.
No, we will. You're talking about accountability. All you said to us, you're talking about issue of corruption. Corruption, fighting corruption is simple. I said everywhere, people say no. You don't know what corruption. The easiest thing to fight today for me is corruption. Huh?
Yes.
He is the governor. You are the commissioner. He is the permanent secretary. These are the directors. Eh? Thank you. The only one reason we steal money is that you are stealing.
Yes. Correct.
If the governor is not stealing, the wife and children are not stealing, those around him are not stealing, he reduces it by 70%. I've spoken in the past 8 years. It's even more than circulating now. Go and show me where Anambra State now is this and our campaign. I have to steal first. People to take your own now. Because when I add my own, he add his own, everybody add their own. When it comes back to you to approve, you won't say no. Because your own is already included. But if your own is not there, everybody will be scared. Do you know why my head of family wrote this and I showed you at the beginning? Stinginess. Because when they are bringing fine to me, everybody is scared. I think to knows the price of everything. Because when you come and show me, we are going to buy ABC, you know what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to shop that sells it and how much they sell it. So if you do it, the rest of the people will follow suit. But when she's my wife, and she now has office on Facebook, he is the contractor. He has approached me, said, no, don't do like that. Somebody takes her to my wife. Who now, she then say, oh, madam, did you see work? We're going to get this. Madam, remember that this is brother, needs to start business. And this is uncle, that he has a good house, but this is father. He calculated what he will make, he carries every pressure. Office of Fairness that I'm working on her, what she's now doing is make sure he bypasses me, goes to the commissioner and say, Commissioner, let's sure that we can sign this thing. Then when I come back home, she's telling me, why can't you just sign this thing? Contract or see me before. Is he the only person? Yeah, I said, listen, the man has inflated it, he's the only person. Other people, he's now telling you, John did it, or okay did it. Why is your own different? He's the only person in this world. This is then your son stops whatever he's doing. Become now a facilitator. In the evening, you come and call you, Daddy, this person wants to see you. Even though you don't want to see you. So you must remove all this from the system to make it. Accountability is what I just said. We must have promises that are visible, measurable, so everybody knows that we have said we are this man, this is the new driver we have. We're in this vehicle. This is our destination. He can reduce the speed though. He can tell us that police have camera. But we are going to that direction. Not that suddenly he says to us, that we found out that there's a roadblock here, so it's doing here. I was telling him, and he told us story, that since the end time, there's no forward gear. And we are keeping quiet.
Our punishment. For everybody that
going back or going forward.
whichever direction.
No, let me tell you. Let me tell you what I said to you. Let me tell you what I said to you. If you close your shop by 6, by the time you come back and come from somewhere, If you want to serve, look forward.
Yes, thank you. I agree.
One more question.
One more.
Famia.
From the question of restructuring.
Huh?
Restructuring.
Okay, go on. I'm going to instruction. Okay. Instruction. The police.
Okay, I have a question. So my question is this: you mentioned some of the things that you wanted to do, and I recall when you were speaking, you said it's not going to be easy, and I know that it's not going to be easy. So I just wanted to hear from you. What do you think might be the short-term things of some of the things that you can do to try to represent what you do, and in particular for the people that are less educated and less aware that change will come in? How do you carry them along?
Okay.
And also in the context of the decisions that we have in Nigeria, you know, driven by ethnic, tribal differences, how are you going to do that?
First, you're one of those who came in. I don't know what to do with you now. I want to ask you a question. First, that's the very, very last one.
There's something very important.
No, it's just structure.
No, it's not about what talk about.
Okay, thank you.
There's something.
Thank you. I'm listening to you, very interesting. So, I want you to listen. For Asoro appears to be provider done that swallowed giant.
Lily, don't speak nonsense, man.
How would you about? And he said something. He said the people is the catalyst for change. Yeah. Do you think our people, not us, Nigerians, the locals, are ready for that sort of change?
I'll start from you. I want us to end. Please, I beg anybody who has questions, please let's just end.
It's very important, sir.
Yes, okay.
Thank you very much, Excellency. There's something we don't understand. You are changing politics. They talked about fixed politics. You're already fixing politics by moving around and speaking to people. It's never happened in Nigeria that we have a president to keep moving around. So what you're doing is you are communicating to the people that they understand that you are there for them. They can see and hear from you, not talking from front. But the problem, Excellency, is this. All this lofty idea must be implemented. And to implement that, we have to win the elections. And winning the elections is also getting the people to vote, voting and protecting your vote, yes and no. Now we have a problem. We have politicians have used some of our brothers and sisters in the north for so long that they have weaponized, everything is weaponized in Nigeria. Poverty, ignorance, everything is weaponized. And these things are being done deliberately to continue to exploit these people. Now in the north, we need to do something to be able to raise the consciousness and awareness of our people in the north to help us in this journey so that together we can win this election and get you in Asoro to do these things for the greater good of Nigeria.
Thank you very good comments. Excellent comments. That is what I'm doing already. That's what I want you to have to do. When I conclude, you will see it very well. Yeah?
You are the ambassador.
You asked. What was the question again?
Let
me tell you. There's no problem in Asoro. Anybody who tells you there's a problem, when I started, I was told the same story. Private sector and public sector is not the same thing. Even by the lady who wrote this narrative. They said it's not the same thing, but I ended up making it the same thing. You just have to be determined and focus on what you want to do. Would the people change? Yes. I didn't change the teachers. It was teachers who were teaching when we were 26. They were teaching when we were number 1. You were in school, senior prefect. Did I come to your school and remove the teachers? Well, let me tell you the difference. When they saw that I was coming by 7:30, everybody was by 7:30.
Nice one, nice one. That's it.
It's a simple. Eh? So that is that. You can change the people. What was your question? Short-term pay. Let me tell you how you do it. That was why I was impeached. When the pay started, I was impeached. My first impeachment. But after that impeachment, the people took over. The people took over. Because why was I impeached? 3 reasons.
Yeah.
Item number 1, 2, 3. Just 3 items. I had an office that was burnt where my previous predecessor was there. He had issue with people and they burnt both the governor's office and the governor's lodge. So when I started, there was a budget of 298 million to repair the office of the governor. That was item number 1. Item number 2 was there was a 486 million budget to repair the house of the governor, to rebuild it and refurbish it. And there was, you are not allowed to save. So these are the items where I was impeached. Number 1 was 298 million. I spent for the 3,200,000 to do everything. Because we didn't have money. I've now shut down the office of the governor's budget, so I needed to use the money in an efficient manner to deal with it. But the job has been given to somebody, so I took it from the person and I did it. Second one was to refurbish where I would live, 486 million, and I did everything with 81 million.
With what?
81 million.
81 million.
They were going to buy sophisticated beds, sophisticated chairs, leather chairs from Dubai, from Zambia. I said, listen, I live in Oaka. There must be somebody who can do beds in Oaka for me to sleep. If you have reason not to sleep, no matter the type of bed, if you have anything to sleep,
you will sleep on the chair.
So number 3.
Number 3
Yeah.
was because I was saving money.
How?
There's no, I didn't the house said it didn't approve for me to save money. But I said it from day 1. We can't consume every income we get. Because it's wrong. This oil money we're sharing also belongs to the generation. So every country of the world that have a diminishing assets like us have savings. Except us, only motor park, they share everything. Because nobody trusts.
No.
So that's it. Somebody mentioned about instructions. Let me tell you. There's need, there's need to structure most parts of our existence for everything. But remember, you can't do it overnight. It has to be worked on. There are things you can do overnight. There's still Stephen has not asked. Stephen asked the question. Stephen asked security, state police. Tell me why we can't have state police. We need security. If we're going to have community policing to be able to secure ourselves, let's do it. We We need security like yesterday. Whatever it will take, let's do it. Why would we deal with this? Why would we stay deal with education? The things that are basic that we can drive like this. So the structure is you can't become president. And whenever people talk about restructure, they say that is our problem today. The structure is not why people are stealing money. No. What has it got to do with people taking public money? I just the way we structure.
So by restructuring, I was thinking of a leadership or a system where the different parts of the country, people are empowered to be the best or do what they know to do.
No, that's the thing. That has to do with the issue of being a good leader. You bring good people on the table. You bring everybody to be part of it. It's like people asking about agitation. How are you going to deal with agitation and everything? And my question is, people have rights to do anything. You negotiate, you consult, you discuss, you dialogue. There's agitations everywhere. There's agitation in my house. I don't always agree with my wife. Anybody who tells you that, maybe their own is different. I've told my children, I've told everybody, whatever they say, oh, I said to them, you're going to get married. Forget that here in your mom celebrates 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of having my
boss
life.
with the brokers.
We're celebrating survival.
This your bed, the covered thing.
Because we're human beings. We don't always agree.
This one, the terrorist.
But we discuss, we dialogue, and we agree. It's communication. Just like the question is asking, how would the people in what you ask, how do you deal with it? Communication. President's distrust comes to people every day. It communicates every day. So people know where you are. Just like I said, the pilot was told us that it would be bad weather. And when we were jumping up and down, he was telling us to tell you when we landed, because it took us time to land. When we land, we have no parking space. He told us. When we eventually got to the gate, he did not allocate us somebody to come and bring the staircase. The pilot said, I've told you people enough bad story today, and I'm going to say another one. So it's communication. The other one, in Nigeria, they will keep quiet, and things is banging up and down, and nobody knows whether we are dying, nobody knows whether we are alive, so people will now resort, oh my God, Jesus take control. Oh my God, Jesus, your children are dying. So, because the man is not telling us whether we are surviving or not. So we're not facing God. But if the pilot says to us, there's going to be a bad weather, I know how you people feel, don't worry, everything is under control, just fine, we'll soon pass it. Then we'll stop calling Jesus, who is already attending to too many problems. I'm not the only problem of Nigeria. So it's communication. My dear people, as we conclude, but I'm going to end so that I can run back to London. Somebody said something that is unique here. And I want everybody who is taking coffee to listen to me now. Just one thing.
Attention, please.
As we conclude, let me tell you people. There's something this man said that is unique. Ordinarily, people would say to me, Peter, tell me why you spend your time to go to Cambridge, spend your energy, spend your money to talk to maybe 30, 40 Nigerians. This is the story. You won't believe it. Ordinary people will say, why are you doing what you're doing? Some say, this overseas people, like I told you before, what is their contribution? Do they know what is happening in Nigeria?
In the last
My story is very simple.
5 days, we have not slept.
Benga. There are 18 people contesting to the president of Nigeria.
Okay.
18 of us. I'm not asking you this night to endorse Peter. I'm asking you to ensure that 18 of them come here, not through proxy, to stand up like I'm standing for the past 3 hours and talk to you. Remember what I said? Not through proxy. Because soon, Stephen will bring one who says he wants someone to come and represent him, and he has an emergency, and he couldn't make it. And Stephen says, okay, let this be and tell us what he's telling us. No, 1 minute. Soon, I'm just telling you. Soon we're going to have one.
I won't be part of that.
Who is going to give her money and say, share it behind us and tell them that if we do this, soon we're going to have people who are I'm a Yoruba man. Yorubas must follow me. I'm an Igbo man. Igbo people will follow me. Or we do not ask, cannot. Question today is, what are power?
Has it benefited?
Like you said, is not safer than South.
No.
Do they have uninterrupted electricity in the North?
No.
My deputy governor, my vice presidential candidate is a wonderful man.
Can go.
That's it.
PhD candidate.
No.
Has everything. I want to write it to him. I asked him one question. Can you go to Kaduna, from Kaduna State, can you go to Kaduna by road? Can you go there by train?
No.
Can you go there by air? Is it because an Igbo man is in power? Same thing in the South. Is there any place the Southeasterners buy bread cheaper?
No.
Is there any place the Southerners? All these things you hear about ethnicity, religion, also bias, is a conspiracy of the airline to keep the poor people where they are and continue the state capture of resources, of the power and resources. 2023 election, we will not get it.
Yes.
Our country end is has talked about borrowing. Our total earning in the first 4 months of this year, first 4 months, January 1 to 30th of April, was 1,630 billion. Our expenditure within that period was 4,720 billion. No business can survive on that. And it has nothing to do with tribe. It has to do with human beings that are running this operation. So 2023 election, like I'm pleading with all of you, there might be 1 or 2 non-Nigerians. There might be 1 or 2 Yorubas. There might be 1 or 2 Igbos there. It's my dear people. Do not vote for Peter Obi because he's an Igbo man. I'm not running because I'm an Igbo man. I'm not running, I don't want people to vote for me because I'm from the Southeast. Don't vote for me because I'm a Christian. No. Is it in there?
Same in Kazakhstan.
Is it written there?
Yeah.
He donated the land, built the church. And he comes there to celebrate with them 2 to once in a year or so, during Christmas and Easter. It's all this excuse has to stop. We want a country that works like every other country. We don't want, so I don't want any condition. Don't vote for me because it's my turn. It's nobody's turn. You know,
It's the Nigerian.
the queen have died now. Charles took over. Because there's a turn there. This one is not turn. Turn has turned. If you want turn, go to your house. Don't vote for me because of connection. 2023 election, my dear people, will be based on character we can trust. But their character issue. I will support them with integrity. We've trusted this man because there was somewhere he was giving something before. He had capacity to take it, he didn't take it. So he took it for the person. It must be based on competence. It must be based on capacity and commitment to start showing visible, verifiable example of what good governance is all about.
Physical fitness.
Remember what I said, visible and measurable. So we're here where Stephen took over. Stephen. Next time we call Stephen, Stephen is here.
Then we are moving.
So we know we are going in the right direction. No excuse. That is what we will do. But there are people who must stop this abuse.
Yes.
He's taking his revenge on us.
And our children.
Wasn't the revenge on our children.
Yeah.
God bless all of you.
Mr. Obi for making this great sacrifice. Most people did not believe that he would be here.